Hey fuckers, it's Friday.
Can't spell shattered without shat or turd.
Like a gut punch to the abdomen.
Some of the funniest shit on the web.
I call it a rock Fred.
I like the cut of your jib, gentlemen.
These 5 are the only protection we have.
The best part of the show is the genuine Hasbro love.
Good night, folks.
And of course, Pat's weekly farts.
Breaking news. It's very outside of the box.
Nailed it.
I love Friday. Bob's Bait and Tackle, now carrying Hasbro.
They truly are your favorite podcast.
Thoughts, prayers, likes, and shares.
Shattered.
A to B.
Shattered Cast. Is that you? Shattered Cast.
When are you going to bring Larry back?
My favorite Star Wars podcast.
Shattered Cast.
Complete fuckers. This podcast is intended for mature audiences only, and its sole purpose is to entertain. If it doesn't fit with your sensitive sensibilities, please feel free to turn it off now and
Shut the fuck up, Chip.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shattered Cast Uncut, episode 314. We are 314 years old, and we have discovered cold fusion, but we forgot it. And
we're still
that's
cold.
why
you
shouldn't smoke.
You should have stuck with the apple. You should have stuck with the apples, man.
No, the apples are fucking dumb. I don't eat gala apples. I'm not parading about nice tight grannies. Sick.
That's not what I heard.
Roll well, as you can hear, as you guys can hear the degenerates behind me there cackling and mocking me like always. It's high school all over again, but at least my clothes are still on. Are the fearsome four. Coming up first, Captain Giggles over here. Everyone's friendly, famous Arkansasian Matthew Creamy Legend Baldwin. Roll Tide.
Roll Hogs. Pixui. Hey there, everybody.
Pixie Sticks.
Yeah.
And speaking of Pixie Sticks, this guy's had his fair share of you tonight. He's digging it really hard, and he just wants to munch down on a granny real bad. The one, the only, Greg Ford Mercy.
Can we ban plastic bags, please?
No.
Just
only if you bring instructions.
Come on, man. That joke's played out.
No, it's not. Never will be. Not in my world, man. Not in my world. Speaking of my world, this guy's in my world. He is the one and only New York's #1 accident attorney, Mr. Robert D.
Hello. I wore a suit today.
Oh. Awesome.
It was weird.
Who's wearing the big boy pants?
I was wearing my big boy pants. I was wearing like a brand new light gray suit with like a lavender button down. And then the first person that sees me in the office I was visiting was like, "Why are you dressed for Easter?" God damn. I was like, "Thanks a lot."
They were like, "You going to someone's high school prom and that shit?"
Shit.
Are you dressing for Easter?
No, but I did think on my feet. I was like, well, I figure it feels like spring outside, so I dressed for it.
Nice.
And speaking of dressing for it, someone who was surprisingly savage before we started recording, he is the smartest engineer in the Transformer fandom. Don't bother Googling it because you're not going to find nothing, just pictures of him. The one, the only, Mr. T2RX6, Justin.
Don't hate me because I'm savage. I know what I'm good at.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
How are you, Oscar?
I'm all right. I'm here. Just we were having some fucking laughs. So, yeah, we're here. Yeah.
Yeah, we're queer.
Your cable?
Oh yeah. No, I don't want to talk about my fucking cable provider.
Why not?
That has got to be the ultimate, like, Jesus. That like.
What about cell phones?
Shit out of that show. Oh, I would rather not talk about cell phones either. So, speaking of things we got or don't want, anybody get anything, Matthew?
Yeah, I got Terror. I got from Terror. I got the Magic Square Blue Streak. That is the Legends class.
That's some dirty ass early shit. Look at you at your early Legends game.
Yeah, that's how I roll.
Hi.
Roll Tide. Studio Series Mixmaster and Scavenger. I picked up X-Transbot's Trailbreaker, Aries or something, whatever the name is. And I also picked up the Toy Wolf Waterman. It's the cat urinal. And Go watch the review. It's pretty cool. I had a great time reviewing it. I really liked it. So.
No thanks.
No thanks. Well, whatever. I liked it. And I think that's all I got this week. Yeah.
Okay, that's good stuff. You know, I'm surprised that Robert D's not a fan of the urinal transformer.
Oh, you would think that.
Supposed to mean.
Well, your humor's just as vulgar as mine. That's why I got a kick out of it when it came out, and you're all like, nah.
You know what it is? I don't have room, and it's like really stunting my appreciation of everything. Because even since Matt's been here, I still haven't purged my displays. I just have had no time, or I've made no time. I don't know. So like I don't have time for I don't have the space, mental space, or the playtime space for
really
anything
small.
like that. I know that. Yeah, but I'd probably just fill one up and have to throw it out, be covered in
I feel
shit.
like Robert's a little worried that someone's gonna walk in and see a urinal on his desk and then just walk right back out of his office.
It's pretty cool.
I don't think I want to hire that attorney. He got a fucking toilet on his desk.
Why's he got a golden poo on his desk?
I don't mind all the Transformers, just the toilet.
Got this Optimus Prime popping a squat and shit.
I don't mind you having an Optimus Prime, but why's he got to be shitting?
Where'd you get a newspaper that small?
That's where the collection world is going now, is toilet humor.
I think everything's going to toilet humor. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, that was like 5 years ago.
No, you're still 5 years ago.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right, dude. You
Roll
are
Tide.
probably right. Yeah, we're all. Yeah, I can't even take back because you just left me woke. Speaking of woke, Greg, what'd you get this week?
Nothing.
I told you a boomer.
Nothing.
Nope. I didn't get anything. Is that
good.
okay, Matt?
Not even AIDS?
That's awesome, man.
Is that okay, Robert?
No, it's not okay. Even
Well,
there
I
wasn't
don't-
one Jason or Michael Myers released by some company.
Nope.
That's crazy.
I would have
That's
got it.
weird. No turtles?
No turtles. No.
I don't have money to throw away right now, Robert. I gotta save what little bit of money I have.
So you admit that buying Jason and Michael Myers is throwing away your money?
No.
It is when you don't have a job and your wife's the one bringing home the paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna buy impulse purchases.
You used to be able to. We used to do a lot of flipping with that stuff, though. Like you check it out and then move it. You don't want to do that
Yeah.
anymore. You don't have the time for that.
I'm running out of stuff to sell, man.
No, I mean like you'd pick something up and then flip it for cost, and then essentially you just got to handle it for a little while.
Yeah, but you can't flip it to the bill, man. You know? Yeah, you can't tie your money up like that, Robert. Some of us don't have that lawyer money.
Woe is me.
Listen, I know the rents do. But this is MC Optimus. Come on. Check him out. I'll let you hold him for a while.
Some of us are just more responsible, Robert.
Some people got that 3A Prime.
I wouldn't say that. Who's got the 3A Prime, man? I want that fucking 3A Prime.
So some people had it, but I mean, I've lost
Who?
all interest in it. I don't know who the hell it is. Some people on the Facebooks.
Peg for Life got to check out a early copy.
It's just so many versions of the that figure are now releasing. It's kind of like lost the excitement for me. I don't know.
Yeah, you'll get it. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I got to be here.
I keep checking Big Bad Toy Store, but it didn't come in. I checked Toy Dojo also, and it's still not there either. So
They have Terra Envy. They're never gonna have any of your things available.
that's true.
Okay, well, speaking of available, Justin,
Did
what
you
did you get
say
this week?
turn this envy?
Yes. I had a mini Baldwin drop, I would say.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to start out with Matt's favorite, from Terry. Terry. I got the final piece of the Yes model Protectobots, and that would be
you did.
their hotspot. I was so glad that he came in finally. I pre-ordered it on there. It's like put $5 down, and then they're like, and then we'll email you when the rest is here. I'm like, okay. And then like I just randomly got, I'm like, is it actually coming? And then yeah, it's here, so I'm so excited about that. If you're trying,
You really think that's just Make Toys, right?
I think so. I mean, like it feels exactly like the Make Toys. Like nothing is corners cut. Like it's just, I don't know. If I had to bet, I would say it's Make Toys. So I don't know.
But it's a knockoff.
Yeah, you know what? It's fine though. But it's
you're
definitely...
ruining this collector community by buying knockoffs.
Goddamn right I am. So, but yeah, so like it's not replacing the need for a Zeta size Defensor by any means. But if you are in that older scale, that like Warbitron, all that stuff scale, it's perfect for that. So yeah, he's awesome. I like it. I'm glad I picked him up. And other than that, I got the X-Transbots Tai-Ho. That's that police version of Skids. I finally got my Fans Toys Jabber and Goose. And then I got the Make Toys Endgame, which I can't wait to see them knock that off and make that in a oversized version and then pretend it's not them. I can't wait to see that. I don't know if that'll actually happen. I got the New Age Starscream and Skywarp, and
nice.
They're freaking awesome. But I have to ask Matt, and I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. Like, is it insanely hard to get the sides of the chest to flip out of yours? Like mine, like I feel like
the first time it was.
Okay.
The first time it was, but once you work with it a couple, transform back and forth a couple times, it'll loosen up. But yeah, it was a little bit. I get a sponger or spooger, whatever you want to call it. And
definitely not a spooger, but
I call it a spooger. I would take the spooger and work it a little bit, spooge it in there a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was the first time I did. Yeah, it was a little bit hassle to come out.
Let me just give this little bloody.
Tyler, love your sex tape.
A little bit.
But they're fucking. Starscream and Skywarp are awesome, man. I got Thundercrack coming too, and I got the Coneheads coming also.
Yeah.
And they're so fucking awesome.
They're really well done. Like I have the McFans Toys version of the DX9 ones. I found out, and I was like, holy shit, these things are trash. Like even if they worked proper, they're still so bad. It's not even funny.
Hey, you want those, Justin?
I do not.
We'll talk after the show.
Okay. Yeah, I got the whole set. Coneheads and the other
things.
Oh.
There go my nipples again.
I mean, that's scary.
Huh?
$20 plus shipping?
Go for it. I really hate them. So let me use them in my review and they're yours. So.
All right. Let's see. My turn. What do we get this week? Apparently, McFan Toys Seeker set.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
That's it. Robert, what'd you get this week?
I'm not finished. Son of a bitch.
Oh.
I also got, because I wanted to check it out, the Bad Cube Captain Huffy, which is something I just don't understand its existence. It does what I kind of want it to be, but it's a very strange toy to exist.
Which one is that?
That is, it's like this Elseworld Huffer.
Black and orange.
He's like black and
orange.
Like, it's really strange, but like I got it for $20, and I'm like, I really want to see this thing, and like it's not bad, but like it's kind of also not great either, and I just don't understand its existence or what Bad Cube was thinking. Like, this is definitely something that I don't get where the line is intended to go.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it might have flat out killed your company. I don't know. So
it was their take on a new kind of character, and they were going to go off. I think they were going to do some others too, but that one tanked so bad that they haven't put anything out since.
So
this
like
is
this
the same company.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
This is the same company. This is the same company that did that really good like Trailbreaker, right?
Bad Cube, yeah, I think they did a good Trailbreaker.
And they did a Sunstreaker too, Sunsurge, and Sentinel.
And Decepticons. They did quite a few things. They were putting out some really decent stuff and everything, but then like I said, they put that whatever that Huffer thing is, and then I haven't put anything out since. I don't think.
I just don't understand what they were going for with it at all.
What they were going for is they saw Make Toys with a cross-dimension line, and they're like, "Oh, we could do a cross-dimension line too."
Yeah,
like, you want to go bankrupt as well, you dumbass?
It's weird because like when I saw it, and I have to go find my mask. What is his name? The Bulldog, I think, is his name. Like the truck looks identical to it. I'm like, why? I kind of wish you painted it light blue, and we could have called this Bulldog, and it was just his own thing. And I think maybe you would get some mask people, because like I even feel like he looks like the character in Mask, like the driver of the Bulldog. So like, yeah, I don't know. That's what I want to do with it. I want to get there, paint it light blue, give it the Bulldog colors, and try to make a little transforming Bulldog. So.
Hey, all right.
And he's
want a
okay.
Bulldog.
And then the final two things I got finally.
Oh my God!
I know, like I said, it's
Well,
been
now
a
you know
while
what it's
since
like
I
when you
shipped.
do your part.
Every time, every week, you're like, oh, let me guess, you got nothing. But you know, I get nothing because I wait for it to be a little drop. So anyway, the last things I got were the Figure Arts Zamasu and the Dragon Ball Super Broly in his like base form.
Hold on, I need 1 second. Hold on.
One. You need more than a second. Did anybody else not go?
I think Oscar hasn't gone, and I don't think Robert's gone.
I normally go last, so we could just wait.
Cruncher, did you get anything?
God damn it.
He didn't mute his mic.
Is earphones back in?
God damn it.
What asshole interrupted the show? Oh, wait a minute.
So what did you get, Robert?
Okay. Did I tell you I got the gold Megatron? I think I might have already said that.
I don't know.
I got the gold Prime coming. The Magic Square Golden Lagoon Prime is on the way. Can't wait for that. But I got Skywarp. No, I already had Skywarp, so I got the New Age Starscream Skywarp, but I got it in the Thundercracker with the replacement hips for Megatron, and I got the Coneheads in. And see, Matt, sometimes Terra isn't as fast as you want her to be. It's terrible.
That's fine.
Terrace Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, Terra.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think that's it. Yeah, so it's just the Seekers. Seekers galore. All the New Age Seekers are in. And
yay!
I also got 2 giant ass IKEA PAX closets, and I spent the weekend putting the second one together. And we refused to go to sleep until I was done, so I went to bed at like 4 a.m. Sunday night, Monday morning, and that just began a terrible string of insomnia that I can't shake now. Terrible, So, but I think that's it.
That's a good haul, Robert. Good job, man. Hey, Oscar, what the fuck did you get, man?
Let's see.
Heartache.
Yeah, it's called Studio Series Mixmaster. I'm doing it for the Devastator. I'm probably gonna fucking sell what little Studio Series figures I have. It is hands down the worst. And like I understand it's not supposed to be nice because it's supposed to have 3 modes, right? The robot vehicle and then Devastator's head, but oh boy, that was
it's a ugly one.
Yeah, it's regret just looking at it. And about non-transformer thing I picked up was Fortnite Night Hair from Amazon.
Night Hair.
Yeah, it's a guy in a fucking rabbit outfit. If you ever played Fortnite, you know who he is. I was like, oh, I'll use that for Transformers Murder Mystery episode 2, and it didn't work out that well. I don't know why everyone's so excited about these McFarlane figures. This thing's a loose flippity-floppity nightmare, no pun intended, because it is a rabbit.
Floppity.
It is, yeah. Have fun with those DC figs. That's all I'm saying. That's about it.
Well, good.
Why do you hate McFarlane so much?
They made one good figure in the last 5 years that I purchased from them, and that's recently the My Hero Academia All Might. Everything else has been very fragile, and maybe I just got bum figures every fucking time, dude. I honestly couldn't tell you, but they're just, yeah. It is what it is.
Oh. Are they still making Spawn figures?
I don't think they are, no.
Oh. Are they on like Space Spawn yet?
He just said no. He just said no. So.
Oh, thanks. I didn't hear him.
Okay.
I haven't heard any news of any new, more articulated Spawn figures that have been come out. They had those color tops sets for a while there, back when Toys R Us was still open. I don't know what that is either. But yeah, they're just yeah. But yeah.
Didn't they make Walking Dead figures?
They did. I
those
never
look
bought
pretty
those.
Oh, did they make those little statue things? Because I saw this Negan. I thought about ordering. It was on clearance at Big Bad Toy Store months ago, and it only had one pose. It was an action figure, but it only had one pose.
You said sneaking.
Yeah, they did probably.
No,
I said Fleegan.
They probably made it.
Yeah. I just don't like Todd McFarlane. Every time I see a video with him, he looks like a coked up woodland creature.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He creeps me out.
He reminds me a lot of like those. If you ever see American Psycho, Patrick Bateman's like freaking coworkers, all juiced up. Like as soon as their fucking stock plummets, they're gonna go jumping out of a window. That's what McFarlane reminds me of. But speaking of news, besides the McFarlane DC figures, let's go on to third-party news.
Today we're talking about Verizon's new package that they introduced.
No, we're not. We're talking about IronTranny King Leo.
Was that funny? God damn, man.
Iron Factory King Leo.
Iron Trans.
Is it Iron? Oh, wow. Okay, that was just a play on words, but all right, yeah, Iron Trans King Leo.
I mean, you kind of feel like...
Did somebody edit it to say tranny?
I'm guessing if so, it was the one laughing.
No.
But anyway, I feel like you knew this was coming. I mean, if they're doing a Star Saber, they're doing a Victory Leo. And again, I just ask, like, why? Like, I just don't feel what's out there already is like, this is so many leagues above it that I'm like, yep, definitely this is the one I need on my shelf. I'm going to go ahead and remove the official.
There aren't, to my knowledge, there aren't a lot of Victory Leos out there. There's KFCs, right?
Correct.
Then you have the Robot Masters Victory Leo, which, then before that was the fucking G1.
And Flames Toys.
But let me ask you, Oscar, if you had the... if you ended up having the Masterpiece Star Saber, are you going for the one that combines with that, or are you going with this one which needs you to buy a different Star Saber?
Oh, well played.
I'm in it for the shoulder pads, honestly.
Flame Toys is coming out with this, and even though the individual robots don't transform, they do combine. I asked them about it at TFCon, and they said it's a gray area, and Hasbro's okay with it because parts forming, they don't consider parts forming transformation. So taking him apart and combining him with Star Saber is fine to combine into a larger bot. It's just really expensive.
Excuse me.
I mean, it's extremely expensive, And then the 3A stuff really puts that into perspective because 3A is a third the price. Or maybe half the price.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I swallowed her. I'm sorry.
Swallowed a mealworm?
Yes, I swallowed a mealworm, Robert.
I mean, it looks okay. I'm not crazy about this company's Star Saber, and if I was to buy like a KFC Simba, my intent wouldn't be to combine them with Star Saber. I know, Robert, you have the KFC Simba, right?
Yeah, I still have them up there on my my little thing.
Yep. So
your painter?
My little peener. He's perched up there. I never combine them. Never ever combine them.
There's no need to. I mean, I think the KFC one's really nice. I don't see Takara doing this anytime soon. But
no, you die. I don't think IronTranny is that really good of a company. What else have they put out?
Just the Star Sabers, I believe.
But their genders are reversed. These are fembots.
Don't assume my gender.
Go
Anyway.
to the cosplay.
This is, you know.
I just can't look. I mean, they look cool. You know, if there was no other option ever, and there's no other option now, but there were, and there is. You know, I mean, if those options didn't exist, I can see people being, you know, get excited for it. I just don't think there's much of a market for it. I mean, except die-hard, gotta collect everything fans, but
completionists.
Maybe if it was an established company, and I mean, it's interesting because this does kind of have hints of like Make Toys to it, just the stylistic aspects or something. But I mean, if you're a new company, you cannot come out of the gates with something like this. Even though it looks good, that you have no street cred. So maybe a Fans Toys completionist, or a Takara completionist, or a Make Toys, or MMC even Bad Cube, if they did it, people would be like, well, I have to get it because I can't wait to see what this company does with this character.
They got a Dotson Legends set also, Prowl, Blue Streak, and
that's
Silver
Iron
Streak.
Trans?
Yeah.
No, that's.
No, I'm looking them up on Big Bad Toy Store. This is IronTranny.
Shit, those little ones from years ago?
Send a link.
The name sounds familiar. But I agree with you, Robert. Like, I do think that you need to start with something to get your feet wet versus going right into something that you're hoping that, you know, people will buy into two robots, basically. You know, like, it doesn't make sense. So.
Well, like, I think especially for the characters like Star Saber and Victory Leo, like, their popularity has increased because of recent lore, thanks to, like, IDW. You know, it might sound a little nonsensical, but I mean, before IDW introduced, like, Star Saber and the Mortar Meets DI as this legit zealot, right? I'm sure a lot of Transformer fans had no clue who he was, or maybe heard of him. You know what I mean? But never really never had a good look at who he was.
When did these guys come out?
weren't these like related to Mech Fans Toys? I thought.
I don't know. I think that they're still on pre-order for Big Bad Toy Store, so I don't know if they even come out yet.
Big Bad Toy Store will push back a pre-order. I've had shit some pre-order for months. I mean, I don't know. I just
thought maybe Chuck had these, but I don't know. Maybe not. I think Chuck put up some pictures of these, and he has these. I think. I don't know. I had to.
Let's get Chuck on the air.
I'd have to ask him real quick, but I think he picked these up. They kind of look like Mech Fans Toys, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. I think they're over. What are they? 3.5 inches tall.
Oof.
So.
That's itty-bitty. That is itty-bitty.
But yeah, that's what I thought. They put out something else too, but I guess not. I'm thinking of somebody else maybe. But they got these Legends, and then they got that's just a weird combo to come out with the Dotson Legends and then come out with Star Saber. Weird combo. Whatever.
Maybe this is Lego.
I hope so.
Trio?
It'd be cool if Lego.
No Lego.
Let go of my ego. Lego my ego.
Oh, maybe this is Lego. Venturing out into toys. What are the legs like? Are they all waffly? Get it? That was a Robert joke.
It sure was.
It gets more awkward and awkward every time.
I'm trying to see if maybe they're like.
Well, this is our last episode.
Are these like you know, is it a knockoff of either the New Age or the Magic Square? But they don't look like New Age.
No, they don't look like Magic Square either.
And the joints don't look like Magic Square joints.
They look like knockoff of Mech Fans Toys.
Mech Fans Toys did Dotsons?
I don't know.
Yeah, see, I thought these were the McFans Toys Tutsons, but I guess not.
Got ball jointed shoulders, just mushroom pegs shown in the arms. It's weird to have they look like nicely articulated, but at the same time,
You don't want to say anything nice about McFans Toys. So.
Nope. No, I don't like seeing open mushroom peg holes. I don't like to see that stuff.
I do.
No, you don't.
Their Dinobots were notorious for that.
Notorious. Notorious.
You know who else has a big old open peg hole? Fans Toys Willis.
I know.
Do you have
on the neck. Yes. But at least the neck's connected to the hood. At least
got
it's
that. Barely. Fucking wind blows too hard in one direction.
It's connected.
Man,
I still haven't.
Fuck that Fans Toys Willis.
I still haven't watched Justin's review, and I can't wait. And I hear Bobby broke his hound.
I mean, it wasn't even his.
But Justin doesn't like the neck either on the official.
No, there's a lot I don't like. I don't like pretty much the whole head region. I don't like. So.
It's okay not to like it. Just because the masses they like it doesn't mean you have to.
Yeah, there's things I like about it.
Careful, them's fighting words.
I love how you can store every weapon that you could care about in him somehow. I don't like the shoulder cannon. I wish it just kind of folded away and then plugged in somewhere versus having to be on that armature. I don't like seeing through the head. I don't like the 3 pins on the side of the head. I don't like the small forehead. I don't like my floating neck. But
and you can see through his head,
fine.
right?
Yeah, if you hold it up to the left and right top side of the head, you can see right through. You can see it on I forget whose picture it was. Sam Swarmer's. Sam Swarmer's actually posted a picture of it, and you can see right through his picture. Yeah, it's not a small gap. But I mean, it's a nice Jeep. The transformation's not bad. It's just, I don't know. It's not what I want.
You broke yours.
I think it looks like it came off the TV screen.
How did Bobby break his? Did anyone see that?
I don't know.
Yeah, he broke the tailgate.
Interesting. I haven't had any problems transforming mine. I'd be interested to see that.
I broke the blue visor. That was my fault. I broke that.
Yeah, I mean, that's clear.
It doesn't really cause anything.
Very tough joint. So.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't, cause anything else to, he's got a big forehead.
No, he doesn't.
I snapped mine in half at the waist.
Just now.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but
I think it's a beautiful figure. Yeah, though. I think it looks great. He has issues just like most Transformers does. But I still love mine overall. These are my top 10, actually. All right, what we got next?
So was Zeta. Zeta was in your top 10 and worst 10.
Yeah. Okay. I said individually it was in my worst 10, and then combined it was my top 10. What we got next?
The video, though. He just read the. He
Yeah,
just looked at the picture.
Oh, I know. I know he did. So.
Yeah, I didn't watch the video. I'm tired of watching people's top 10s. I'm sick of it.
Okay.
That's the end of every year, dude, and the beginning of it. So it's just something you got to roll with, man.
You know what's interesting? 2018, I think the general consensus for the top Legends figure was New Age Bumblebee, and then 2019, the top Legends figure of the year was New Age Megatron. New Age has come on top,
Starscream,
and now it's Starscream. Well, hold on. Magic Square is coming out. We'll see.
And you know who Starscream works for? Megatron. You know who else made a Megatron? Exquisite Toys, Dark of the Mood.
Oh.
Megadong.
I like what you did, man. Megadong.
Hey, that's how they designed him.
So this is a new third-party company, which I didn't know that, and
Exquisite.
They're giving us a Dark of the Moon Megatron prototype.
It's Megadong, honey.
I really think it's got a lot of nice details. It's really detailed out.
It has an insane amount of details, and I'm gonna give him credit on that head sculpt too, because I am looking at this head sculpt and I can't help but think this is like massive head wound Harry from that Saturday Night Live skit with Tom Hanks. It's a good job. They did a good friggin' job.
I think they did a great job overall. Everything, man, it looks good.
And I mean, if I ever had to make a list of like the best Hasbro movie figures, would have to be either Dark of the Moon, Voyager, Megatron. But this is like, oh God,
you know, it'd be really cool if it came with the little accessories, like the little bugs, the little robot repair bugs.
Oh yeah, that would have been pretty cool.
Like you can magnetic or something, like stick.
But it might come. I mean,
this is just an active action figure, right?
I don't know if it trans. I think it trans.
I'm trying to see if it articulates
it transforms. That's really intricate because it is cleaning up nicely.
I mean, I'm trying to see if it even moves. I mean, it looks great. I wonder if it.
Yeah, I mean, you may not like
prototype, so I don't expect it to be able to do a fucking Iron Man.
No, of course. I think it has joints. No, it has joints. You can see them. You can see the ratchet teeth and the shoulders.
You may not like the character or anything, but God,
it looks good.
This is straight off the fucking movie. I mean, it looks really like Oscar said. The Hell Sculpt is just fucking point on. I mean,
it's crazy. It's wild. It looks good. Yeah, a lot of people like this.
I wonder if it does transform.
Again,
I wonder if this is even a figure.
Let's see. Does it say anything that says a transformer? Image of the body, just a little visible kibble, but the information available confirms that this is it is a transforming figure.
No way. Are you serious?
What it says, the information available.
Little visible kibble, but the information available confirms that this is a transforming figure.
Wow.
The scale of this product is still unknown. That's a big boy. That is one big fucking robot. And
what if it's just 4 inches? That'd be hilarious.
Nah.
It's like 4 inches high. You're like, what the fuck? And it comes in a giant box.
Just to transform them and shit. Everything's on
thing that you pop his head off and put it on the vehicle.
Remember when these Bayformers are coming out and like this was the pinnacle of difficult transformations? You know? And it's so funny how far we've come. Greg?
Yes. What?
Stop meowing.
Sorry.
Bitch.
She's excited. She wants to be on a podcast. She saw the leathering on the shotgun.
No, I think this looks good though.
Picture
feel like
12.
The movies are getting a lot of attention recently, which is interesting to me. So.
Because that generation's growing up, dude.
Yeah.
Nostalgia. It's nostalgia.
I just wish somebody would make a Dark of the Moon Prime.
Oh no, that's definitely something sorely missing.
How long ago is Dark of the Moon now? It's 2020.
10 years.
Yeah.
So think of the space between the films, and some kid watched the first one, and he kept growing up along with them, and now that kid's fucking 20, you know. So
he's still a virgin, you know, and he's giving up on women, and he sees this.
He's a complete and utter incel, and he sees this, and little spark of hope comes back to him.
He beat Fortnite. He's the grand champion, and then he sees this.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all talk about the price? I wonder how much this thing is.
It's probably expensive. I mean, because it looks really well engineered. It's got
it looks big too, man.
And it's
so
painted
you're looking
to the nine.
Almost $200.
It looks exquisite.
Oh,
what are you saying about 185 probably?
I'm thinking 199.99.
I say 201.
Ooh, I bet it's gonna be 149.99, so you can't get free shipping.
That's such shit. Oh, that is one thing.
I gotta find some for $10.
That is one thing I fucking hate about so many online stores. Is like, order over $150, get free shipping. Well, I just want this one figure. It's $149.99.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta find something for $10 or some shit. It's like there's nothing for $10.
Then you're like, okay, what's the next cheapest thing on your site? It's like 100.
Now you see, like, I feel like in the past, companies say like they make a figure like this, like Hasbro, and they figure because it's brown and tan, they don't need to put paint on it. They could just use that color plastic. But it's such a difference. You know, a figure like this color and these tones, and you've got to paint it up. And then
look at pick number 7. Look at the rust effect and everything. It looks like dirty and just looks awesome.
Yeah, I wonder, the weathering on this is so well done. I do wonder a bit if like you really could.
Maybe they just left it out in the rain.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really could what, Justin?
Like if you can expect a company to actually put out something like this.
Oh. You think they're just doing it for the prototype though?
I mean, if it's a hand painted type thing, yeah. You know, like look how cool it could look, and then the question is, will it look that cool?
The one you get is all gray and shit.
Yeah.
Well, those Toy World Devastator weathered ones came out looking just like they were supposed to.
That's true.
Look at the tires, man. The tires got like dirt in them.
Tires. Look at the tires.
And look at the picture 9. You can see the tires, and they just got dirt in them, man. That's fucking sweet, dude. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Look at you getting all excited. That's so cute.
You're right. The paint apps on this are just too high end.
The chains around him is dirty and weathered. I mean,
you have rust effects. You have paint wearing effects.
Man.
Yeah, like hitting on the paint. Like there's a lot going on here that, you know, like if they can recreate it, awesome. But I worry about that actually being a thing.
Yeah. I'll be on the lookout for this guy later on. I want to see some better or later on, stuff.
They will recreate it, and it will have this paint, and it will have a bunch of parts, and it will be a transformer, and it will be clean, and then people are going to bitch about how much it cost.
But it's 4 inches tall.
But it's 4 inches tall.
No, I bet this is an epic scale.
This is impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Especially for their first outing.
I like this Megatron because he's kind of like the shittiest one done. Just because he's like, this is recovering meth addict Megatron. You know what I mean? I like something about that. He survived. That's what he is. Yeah. He's surviving. He's on the run. I love it. I like Dark of the Moon.
I'm excited for this one.
Is this Dark of the Moon or Revenge of the Fallen?
Dark of the Moon.
This is Dark of the Moon. Revenge of the Fallen. He was like the tank jet thing.
Yeah.
That's where he got blasted on. His Revenge of the Fallen.
He always what I didn't like about the Bay movies the most is just he is so menacing, but then so defeated every time. Just easily defeated. He, in the cartoons.
Dark of the Moon, he was like that. I mean, he was a bitch to Sentinel.
Yeah, but I mean, Megatron would fight. He would get beat, but he wouldn't get fucked up. He only got fucked up once, and that's after he killed Prime. He never got killed or maimed or destroyed. If he's losing, he was smart enough to know to get the fuck out of Dodge. Mm-hmm. He'd run away. Yeah. He would never get his ass whooped.
And he never, I don't think, as far as Revenge of the Fallen, he always, he called the Fallen his master. Like, no, Megatron never doesn't call anybody their master. Right. That was a weird thing. And then in Dark of the Moon, he was fucking Sentinel's bitch. It's like, Megatron's just a second, class character. Basically in the movies, he was,
He teetered on the edge of oblivion before he, bent knee to Unicron. So that's the level. That's how hard you got to push to get him to give in.
Then the Bayverse, he was just like, "Come on now."
Oh, you're gonna rip my face off too again? All right, master.
I was like, no, Megatron didn't call him master.
I just find it funny. A girl who looks good wearing her boyfriend's button-up shirt and a pair of panties is what essentially helps save the day in Dark of the Moon. You're not going to stand there by his little bitch, are you, Mr. Megatron?
And then he fake, punches or tries to fake punch her or something. Whenever he flinches at her. Like Megatron would have slapped it and just killed her, and then you just fake, come on. That was. Oh well.
Movies were something, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, or something. All right. That all we got for news. All right.
I finally found what I was looking for while you guys were talking.
Go on, Bono.
Yeah. Yeah, the shoulder cans are different, but everything else looks the same. This is the Hot Soldiers Mech Planet Prowl.
Hot Soldiers put out some, didn't they? Yeah.
Well, no, it was under Mech Planet, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
God,
hold
how
on.
fucking names do they go under? Shit for.
They knock themselves off. They can't help.
They got Mechanic Studios or
when they're bored.
Mechanic Studio, McFans Toys, Mech Planet. It's a mess.
Mech shit.
But it looks just like that Prowl. Like even the picture looks the same except for the shoulder cans. Like it's the same pose and everything.
Yeah. Okay, it might be them. I don't know.
They knocked themselves off, huh?
They were so busy they just knocked you. They were like, "Fuck it, let's just knock
Prowl?
ourselves off."
Oh, you knock it off.
We did. We did. Yeah, it could have been Hot Soldier. Is Hot Soldier still around? I don't think they're still around.
That's McFans Toys.
Well, that's
Papa Toys. Wasn't it Papa Toys?
No, Pocket Toys.
No, what was Papa Toys? They made the Hot Rod. Wasn't that Hot Soldiers too? See, I mean, that's fucking. I'm confused.
I don't know, man. Check your collecting card collection you got there, okay?
Hey.
Check your third-party toy action figure card.
You check your privilege.
No, so I'll beg your pardon. I beg your goddamn pardon.
Roll Tide.
I went to Terra's page and I saw he has in his drop-down menu fourth party.
He does. Yes.
I think Terra owes us some royalties for using that term. You should let him know.
All right. I'll get him on the phone.
He sees his company in 5 years if he doesn't.
Hopefully booming.
He should give us all half off on Legends figures and give Matt 75% off.
It's a possibility, but I doubt it.
Speaking of possibilities, one that makes us veer off the topic of Transformers, I'm a little excited about this. Some people aren't. But apparently there is a pre-order up for some G.I. Joe 6-inch scale figures. 1/12 scale.
This made a lot of people happy.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, so is it Jazzwares or is it Hasbro?
It's a good question.
What's the definitive
I
news
think
on
it
this?
is Hasbro, not Jazzwares in this case.
Yeah, there was a solicitation. From what I gather, there was a solicitation from at least Entertainment Earth to wholesale buyers and possibly somewhere else. That's what I gathered from what little bit of information's out there. And they're supposed to, whatever the next, was it Toy Fair? Is that the next show coming up? They're supposed to be more information available.
Okay, maybe we'll see some prototypes there. You know, you never know.
Is anyone else bothered that there's no Cobra Commander in the first wave?
I am. I would have thought they, because you know Hasbro has done, you know, when it comes to Transformers anyway, they've always done the leader of both sides, the good and bad, right? Normally in the first wave, just like we did with Siege, right? We had Megatron and Optimus Prime, and then their 35th anniversary sets consisted of cel-shaded Megatron and Optimus Prime. So I'm actually surprised there's no Cobra Commander in this. I'm not shocked by the two different Snake Eyes.
Yeah, I mean they're
is it two different, or is it just going to come?
It's a case assortment. So there's two Snake Eyes figures. It's the same figure though.
So, and then you know if they are doing this, like, and again we talked about this last time, Justin, you and I, like, is there really a market?
Right, but that's the thing. But that, you know what? They would have made that market more likely had they released on one side Duke, Scarlet, Snake Eyes, and then Cobra Commander, Destro, and Baroness. If that was the first wave, you're ensuring a market if there is going to be one. You know, like that's what you should have done.
Yeah,
don't assume. We'll release them as we go.
And
you know?
Another cool wave that I think you probably easily could have, you know, sold would have been doing Cobra Commander, Baroness, and Storm Shadow to their other side's counterpart, Duke, Scarlet, and Snake Eyes. Like,
but don't you think you need Destro with Baroness though? But then again, that's the tease. That's the tease.
I can agree with that, but
you have a tease next wave. You got to have the Destro wave now. You
know?
Well,
I hope they got Zartan. I always loved Zartan.
Yeah, but then they can have all his bitch fucks. What are they called again? The Runamucks?
Dreadnoughts.
Robert, clearly you and I are the official G.I. Joe aficionados.
Snake ears. I like snake ears.
We are the official.
I want snake tongues in the Tiger Ninja Force.
I want Man at Arms.
So when are these supposed to come out? Around the Storm Shadow or the movie when it comes out? Is it when it's supposed to be released?
Hopefully it'll be before that because they just started working on that movie.
Oh, did they?
What movie is it? Storm Shadow or Snake Eyes?
Snake Eyes. I'm sorry. Snake Eyes.
Yeah, it's like an Origins movie. So they're going to try to
Storm Eyes and Snake Shadow.
So
they're trying to relaunch a new continuity universe thing.
Snakes don't have shadows. They lay on the floor.
Are they going to do vehicles? Are they saying anything about vehicles for them?
They're going to make a piss tank.
I hope they make a Captain Cobra. I really need a Captain Cobra.
I saw the articulated icons sets that are out there where they have like, they're just like generic ninjas, but they're kind of like perfect templates for making your own thing. Like they have Temple Guardian, who's like Silver Samurai from Marvel, and then there's Solitary Modern Ninja, which is basically looks just like Snake Eyes, you know, like yeah. And then they have White Ninja.
They have
definitely Storm
Shadow. Yeah, they have a White Ninja. You could swap out the shoulders, pop the shoulders out, put in like bare arms. They had like an arms kit they sold at the time, and you have Storm Shadow.
You mean animal arms, or you mean like no clothing?
I hope
like
both.
no clothing.
I hope both. But yeah, I mean, like I'm very tempted to get them just because I think they look awesome, and then we'll see what happens with the wave. But like at the same time, I also want to support Hasbro doing something with G.I. Joe. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
See, with that line, you can you have the Cobra. What are those battle pods? What the hell are they that fly around?
The Trouble Bubble.
Mm-hmm.
The Trouble Bubble. Whatever the hell they are. You could have that on a flight stand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with a figure that size. Was there a comparable Autobot vehicle?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the little thing. I forget what it was called.
Your painter?
No. It's a little green
camouflage
thing.
dildo.
Green flying thing.
You could do that. You could do stuff like that. So they'd scale with the larger figures, and they'd be cool posed on flight stands. That would work. You know, save the aircraft carrier till it's really, make that a Hasbro GoFundMe.
A HasLab thing.
HasLab. You know, it'll be $1,500. It'll be the size of your
I bet that's what they do next. Okay.
Skyhawk.
I bet that's what they do next for the HasLab thing. I bet they do the USS Flag.
Man, that thing would have to be the size of a fucking Honda Civic to work with 112 scale
Take
figures.
it down to Takara. Honda
They
Civics
gotta
every
have.
day.
It has to rotate, and on the other side is a mattress. You know, so you can make it work.
Because Lord knows, after your wife or significant other finds out you just threw 1,500 bones on that, you're sleeping, not in someone else.
What? She'll never know. She'll think it's the bed.
Robert, if one half's the vehicle and the other half's a mattress, how are you going to take pictures to sell it?
Damn it!
If ever I was able to get,
I just got that. That was good. That was a good one, Greg. I like that one. How are you going to sell it when you can't put it on the mattress? A dirty ass mattress.
What's that, Justin?
If I ever was to get like an original USS Flag, like find one at like a store missing all its parts, like I'm pretty sure I'd just like knock everything off my desk and turn it into my work desk. Just have the monitors on top of the deck, cause like why not? Why not?
That'd be awesome.
Calm down. Calm down, Justin.
There's a toy store out by me named Vintage Toy King. He actually has a USS Flag on display with jets and a bunch of Joes hanging out. It's really, really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, how tall? It's like, isn't it like 6 foot tall or something, or long?
It's long. I know that. Like, it's basically there's a YouTuber. He goes, I forgot his name. He likes to say Nerd Mistake. But he does a lot of classic reviews, but he has the USS Flag that him and a friend retrofitted into like a coffee table.
Wow.
It was really neat. It's fucking huge.
Whenever you put your coffee down, you have to pretend it's like landing.
Drop a landing gear.
I totally
Oh,
know
that's
what
when
to do.
you that's
Pew,
when you
pew,
get
pew.
Trouble Bubble coffee cups.
Oh, Greg, you are selling this idea for me. I'm all about this now.
Trouble bubble.
And it's like it's an invasion.
Yeah, I mean the F-16s. Are they F-16s? No, I don't even
Yeah,
know.
sure.
They're whatever you want
Or
them to be.
F-14s. The F-16s. The F-16s would be too big. You know, like the really cool vehicles would probably be just too big for the most collectors, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
I don't see a 1/6 scale line or a 6-inch scale line getting any vehicles, and if they do, it's gonna only be one. Like, has there been a 6-inch figure Star Wars vehicle? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
the TIE Fighter. There was
has
a
been?
TIE
Okay.
Fighter. That was
So
ginormous.
you've made the most iconic vehicle, right? Like, arguably one of the most iconics. Yeah, so I could see you do the same thing for G.I. Joe. Maybe you make the the jet, or you make the
They made
the gliders.
They made a 6-inch scale Death Star too.
What was the bubble thing where you sit in the Cobra little vehicle?
Trouble
the little
Bubble. It's the Trouble Bubble.
It's Mr. Bubbles.
That's the battle. I think it was called the
Mr.
Battle
Bubbles,
Pod. No,
blasting
it was the
people
Battle
up the
Pod?
sky, Mr. Bubbles.
I always had
Come on
those
and
and
touch
those
my
little
thighs, Mr.
gliders.
Bubbles.
You
The
could
Cobra
do.
gliders.
Smell, Mr. Bubbles.
You
I'll
could
come
do.
inside your mouth.
Oh my god.
Mr. Bucket is the most terrifying.
My
thing I've ever
God.
seen.
What the fuck was that?
But those you could do the small things. You could do the small things of flight stands, but you could, like Justin. Was it Justin? I think you said you could have like the iconic vehicle for a display.
Oh,
That's large enough on your display.
Rat-tat-tat.
Like a his tank. F-16 or whatever.
Ooh, a his tank. That would be pretty cool.
Stuff that
Just
you
in
can pose
case.
them on.
Yeah,
Just in case you don't believe me, it's the Trouble Bubble.
No, it's not.
it is 100% the Trouble Bubble.
Oh my god.
True.
Yeah, they came out of
True.
in the cartoon. They came out of the dome, whatever, the terror dome,
You
whatever.
just wanted to say
That's for
terror.
Ninja Turtles, man.
Flat
No, that's
pods.
a Technodrome.
They were flat pods.
Yeah, parentheses, Trouble Bubble.
Yeah.
Nice. I had tons of those little gliders.
That's how GI Joe naming conventions worked. It was like mercenary, code name, Crazy Legs, or whatever. Like this is the flight pod, code name Trouble Bubble.
Trouble Bubble.
They could do stuff like that. And
Yeah, I like that. Do the Snowcat. I like the snow. I had the Snowcat.
As a kid, my favorite part of the Snowcat was its functional windshield wiper. Like, I loved it. I was like, yes, this is awesome. But I kind of hated the Snowcat. Like, I liked the windshield wiper, but hated the Snowcat.
I love the Snowcat, man. It was awesome.
But I mean, in fairness, when it did snow, I was all about the Snowcat. So.
Mm-hmm. Name Snowcat.
You know what I was real disappointed at? I'm sorry, Greg. I don't mean to cut you off, but I do kind of.
No, cut him off. Sorry. He cuts everybody off.
When I was a kid, I saved so much money to get the killer whale, the hovercraft. I remember I got it, and I was so excited. Like saving all my allowance for that stupid hovercraft, and then I took it outside in the pool, and I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. Put it in the pool. I was like,
sunk
right to the bottom. Like, who the fuck makes a hovercraft that can't
man.
float?
It had the.
No, you gotta cut Matt off. Cut Matt off. Cut Matt off. Cut Matt off.
I'm used to it.
That happened to me once. I was like 12 years old, and I visited my grandfather in Florida. He lived like on a canal, and I got a remote control boat, and I wanted to drive it in the canal. I was so excited because I was into RC cars. I never played with a remote control boat before, and I never considered the range of my controller.
Oops.
And I was just making this boat go, and all of a sudden it went out of range, and it just kept fucking going out to sea, and I never got to play with it again.
Did you wave at it?
It's like, wait, I can't go get it. This sucks. Yeah. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah. I remember G.I. Joe, and the thing that I think the reason I didn't expect the hovercraft to sink like that is because like G.I. Joe like made so many like boat vehicles. Like I remember it had like the Barracuda submarine, which like you put like baking soda in or something, it would like submerge and emerge from the water over and over. And then like they had so many boats. I can't remember the ones I had for the Cobra side of things. The red boat.
Did it have a thing where it shot off like a the drums of explosion or something? Like you could shoot it off the hovercraft? Did it have something like that? A little.
It had like a little motorcycle inside the front that you could. You know what? It may have had the depth charges.
I think in the back.
Yeah.
I think you could flip off the little canisters of explosions,
barrels.
whatever.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, the barrels. Okay, I had that. I remember that.
If they do vehicles in this line, they should come with the incentive should be a pilot figure like the old ones. Which made me remember that's all I was going to throw in earlier when it was still kind of close to being topical. Black Series did little things like that. They did Luke's speeder, and they did Rey's little thing from Force Awakens.
So they have done some vehicles, but none of them outside the TIE Fighter that I think are like big vehicles, right? Like
no, but scout bikes. They did that. The speeder bikes.
But the race speeder came. Oh, and they did the scout bike. Yeah, but in the thing that those all had in common is they were smaller, and they came with a figure.
Yeah, like we're not going to end up seeing the Cobra Night Raven in a 6-inch figure form.
That'd be sick.
We're not going to see Wild Bill in.
I was going to say Wild Bill in the helicopter. I had that. That was fun.
Yeah, but if they did something like that, if the line had already caught fire, and then maybe they do a HasLab thing for it. Wild Bill in the helicopter. Come on, go. Who wants to get this? And I could see people getting that. They're already in on it. Now they've got display space dedicated to this shit.
Yeah, but G.I. Joe fans are so fragmented. Like,
are they?
Yeah, because like you've got they got a 6-inch, they got a new Joe line, they got a modern Joe line, but there's people already complaining. Even in the His Tank comments, they're complaining that it's not 3 3/4. So they're not going to buy it.
That's every.
Well, I know, but I'm saying like you've got people that aren't going to buy it just because it's not 3 3/4. But then all the other
these are like. And
yeah, but all the other 3 3/4 lines went to shit. So
yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say, Matt, is that these people are the dedicated G.I. Joe fans.
No, I understand that. But I mean, I was just saying there's also dedicated Transformer fans and Mass fans, or not Mass, but Star Wars fans and.
I'm not familiar with these groups, but is it akin to what we have with Chug collectors versus MP collectors? And rarely are the people who collect Chug and hate on MP actually collect both.
Yes.
So they just don't want to fucking pay for the more expensive figures, so they're shitting on it. You get that everywhere.
Yeah, but the thing with with like Matt just mentioned Star Wars, but see, Star Wars is concurrently doing 3 3/4 and they're doing 6-inch sale.
But everybody those fans get everything though, right?
Yeah, well, no, there's some people that only do 3 3/4, and there's some people that only do 6-inch. So
it seems to me like you've got people that get 6-inch and 3 3/4 versus people who get Hot Toys, and they get what they want out of the Black Series. That seems to be
so Greg, in Star Wars, like, do the 6-inch people shit on the 3 3/4 and do the 3 3/4 shit on the 6-inch? Do they go back and forth like that, like G.I. Joe does?
Well, I don't know, because I actually joined a Black Series group recently, but they're too busy fighting over Mandalorians.
We're busy trolling the Ocala yard swap, okay?
Well, currently in the Black Series group, Pinkerton's in there. I see him comment from time to time. I don't know if anybody else that is on any of our friends lists are in there, but currently there's a conspiracy theory that Target and Kmart, yes, Kmart's still around, employees are purposely not sending Mandalorian figures to people who order them online. Like, they order from an assortment and no one seems to be getting a Mandalorian. And people are saying that Target or Kmart employees are stealing them. And then when someone says they did get a Mandalorian out of the assortment, one guy tonight. No, a guy tonight said, well, maybe there's like a couple of good guys that know what's going on, but they're not in on it.
Of course.
And I'm like, you mean like there's a cop now on the take at the Kmart fucking corporate headquarters? Like, he's like, nah, I'm not dirty like that.
Listen, I want this company to succeed.
And then someone got they bought 5 figures, not 6, which is the assortment. And they reused the shipping case to ship the 5 figures to them. And they said it looks like someone opened the case, repacked it, and sealed it back up.
Is this the gold package? Is this the gold package one, the Mandalorian?
It's any of them at this point, but now the gold one, the carbonized ones are super prevalent right now. And if you scroll down that group, every other post is someone trying to sell it for like $50, $60.
Yep.
And it's like every, and it's a $24 figure, but everyone's selling them and everyone's acting like they're the only one. They're like, I mean, it's just crazy. It's like markup city, but it's not even like one person's the only one with them all. It's like everybody's got 4 or 5. They're like, oh, these are super rare, but literally every other.
The next post has a 4 or 5 one also. Then the next post has another 4 or 5 one. It's got to be rare. It has to.
Well, my buddy Ryan went to a Target.
Who?
Yesterday. Yeah, no, not him. No, my local buddy of mine's on the road for his job. He inspects fire systems, so he like drives all over the city. Like that's what he does, and he has appointments to make. But in between, he goes toy hunting or whatnot. And he went out to a Target and he bought 1 Mandalorian. They had 8, and he bought 1. And then he said, like the other guy standing there just grabbed the rest of them.
Wow! Right in front of him?
Yeah.
Wow. Around my area, I've never come across a scalper before.
That's because you're the scalper.
Yeah, maybe it's time to look in the mirror on that one, Matt. Just kidding.
Man in the mirror. Oh.
Who scalps the scalp man?
I have not seen them in this area, but then I also really see many toys in this area, which is another discussion altogether.
You need to move, Justin.
I know.
I'm concerned. I'm really concerned for you.
I think, but when it comes to actual scalpers, I have seen them. I recall seeing them where I used to live. When you'd walk into like Toys R Us and like you just see the guy like walking around with the handful of everything, like the handful of the one character.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen people waiting in line. Like early in the morning when Toys R Us or Target or whatever opens. I've never seen.
I remember also seeing like someone in there like holding, like one of every character and like on eBay actively looking for what they're selling for. I'm like, that's crazy to me.
Oh, wow.
Like
really?
I just kind of wanted to walk up to that person, just take something out of their head and see what happened. I'm like, it's not like I'm just casually seeing.
Were you gonna flex? Was you gonna flex, Justin?
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, definitely 100%. Like I'm looking, peeping at this guy and seeing him, looking in an eBay at what he's holding in his hand to determine what he can sell it for. Like come on, that's ridiculous.
I saw a mother showing her son how to use the scanner app for Amazon and eBay in a Walmart one night. And he was like, "Mommy, can I try the next one?" Like, seriously, it was just like that. And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Kid, come look at this."
I've heard Hot Wheel collectors are kind of.
That's what I see around here.
Is it okay? I've never seen Hot Wheel collectors either. I've heard they're really pretty bad, but especially the blind bag stuff, I guess.
I saw one tonight actually. When I said I was going to the store before the show, I just decided I had to go down to that side of the store, so I just walked down the action figure aisle, and there was a guy. They moved the Hot Wheels on that aisle now, and there's a guy. What they do is they take their arms, and they reach behind on either side of the section, and they sweep them all under their cart. That way, they're in their possession, so no one else can touch them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go through them and they put them back up on the peg. So some of the old guys don't even bother. Like it's Toys R Us, and they were the ones that were sitting out an hour before truck day, waiting for the store to open, and they would make a mad dash for it to get back there. And people that worked at Toys R Us said they would just leave the carts full. Like they would.
They wouldn't put them back up.
Yeah, they get one or two, or they might not even find anything, and then they would just leave their pile and walk off.
Oh man, fuck that shit, man.
Yeah. But I don't see. I haven't seen too many action figure people like that. I've seen them trying, but I've never seen any. I've seen people I can tell what they're doing, but I've never seen them find anything. Like I've never seen a guy like strike it rich in like the aisle, and find like the rare figures. But I've seen people like you can tell they're looking. Like you can tell they've got their phone in their hand, and you can tell they're looking for something to research.
I've seen people, I've been looking at Transformers, and I have guys come up and say, "Oh, you like Transformers?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, they'll start, a little conversation, but I've never seen anybody just trying to scalp some shit. So, it's just not around here, I guess.
Yeah, I met a guy in Toys R Us, actually. He was like the anti-scalper in my case, because he started talking to me. And then we became Facebook friends and texted. And then he lived like right down the road. And his wife worked in Japan. So like every other weekend, he'd do like 4 days in Japan to go hang out with her. And he would and that was when like Prime stuff was big. And he would go to Japan and bring me back like Japanese figures as they came out there. So like all that Japanese Prime stuff, I was getting that and not paying retail for it. So just because he was like, "Oh, I don't know anybody else like Transformers around here."
My man had all the Viacons.
Had the white one, the flying car one, the black one, and the purple one.
First release. Then he had the
first off the line.
Who was that? Who are you talking about there?
You.
Oh, me? Oh, I did have all the Viacons.
My man.
The first time I ever went to Ollie's, actually, the first time I ever went to Ollie's, I had a shopping cart full of Viacons. They were $4.99, and I redistributed them out to the cafe. And I wish I hadn't, because now they're going for like $35-$40 online.
Really?
Looking out for the cafe, man.
So I got like 2 dozen.
That was back when I did. Yeah, that's right before I got sick of that shit. People were like, "What do I got to pay tax? You already paid it. I'm not the one buying it from the store. You pay tax.
Really?
Can you ship it for $2? Oh yeah, people are fucking.
It's called the
people said I should pay tax on it because you pay tax on it.
No, they didn't really say that, but people were like, "Well." They're like, "Hey, if you see this, you pick it up for me," and then you pick it up. They're like, "Well, my store has it for $19.99. Why do I have to give you $23?" I'm like, "Because I had to pay tax on it." And
man, I would have just kept it. At that point, I wouldn't even argue. I'm like, "All right, I'm just gonna keep this." Sorry.
I'm just gonna go ahead and return this.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, fuck that shit. I would take a picture. I would take a picture of me returning it and send it to him. Be like, "Yep."
Well, it's like when the sound waves and the acid storms were coming out of Toys R Us, and I just happened to hit them every day they came in because I worked next to Toys R Us, and I was picking them up for people, and I posted that picture of my trunk that said "Scout Life," and that certain MS Prime was spreading my picture around, calling me a scalper.
Ryamus?
Because I was buying him. Yes. Man, you got a hard on for him this week.
I wonder how's that post going? We're gonna answer some questions. What are we doing, folks?
Let's answer some questions about that post.
All right. Oscar, you still with us, man?
Oscar, would you like to discuss your cable package?
Oscar took his cigarettes for a walk. He'll be right back.
So we lost Oscar, apparently. He lives in New York. Best internet in New York. Just kidding.
Oh, sorry. I took my cigarettes for a walk. I'm back.
You left the video feed on. We saw you masturbating.
Oh, no, that wasn't me. That was my brother, Roscoe.
That was Tur.
No, that was who I was talking to on the phone.
All right.
We didn't have new questions in the thingamajigger, and I was going to ask for new questions online, but I figured we'd get like 30. So I figured we'd tackle the 4 or 5 we have and clean the slate.
Speaking of tackle, Matt, do you miss Bob? Do you miss Bob's bait and tackle?
I can't believe Bob's bait and tackle left Matt so out to dry.
Yeah, do you ever worry like where Bob's bait and tackle is? Now that you're with a new man.
I kind of worry sometimes, but I haven't. I've reached out a couple times, but he hasn't returned my phone calls. So I guess it was mutual.
I'm talking about Bob's Bait and Tackle.
Yeah, I reached out to Bob's Bait and Tackle, and they haven't returned my phone calls.
I don't mean Bobby Skullface.
Speaking of,
well, that's true. That's true too. But he hadn't given me a call lately either. So.
Speaking of Oscar, I wanted to give Oscar a shout out for actually posting the new Squirrel. Very good.
Oh, that was good.
I enjoyed it very much, Oscar.
Really
thank you for
was.
your time. I can't wait.
That was
for
great.
the episode too.
Thank
Is Oscar
you.
still not here? It sounded like he was here.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, hi, Oscar.
I'm here.
Would you like to discuss your cable package?
No, sorry. It's a, well, it's a serious issue. It was a false alarm. We're gonna do the questions
Who the
now.
fuck is being all quiet? Oh wait, that's me.
Okay, so we all ready for the questions now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Question from our avid listener, Will R. How's it going, SCU? I just scratched the surface of the collection game and gotten a hold of a couple of MP scale figures, but I mainly collect Legends, third party, and the Siege line. But my main question is more of a concern is with Iron Factory. I love their design, but their tolerances are way too tight. Most of my figs from them have either broken or have stress cracks. I'm a bit of a fiddler when it comes to Transformers, so it's a bit of a letdown when I mess with some of my stuff, seeing the cracks. What are your thoughts on this, and do you guys have any recommendations?
You're going to encounter that with Iron Factory. I don't think I've ever broken any of them, but yes, it's like the plastic is so hard that you get stress marks in places because of the tolerances. They do. It depends on the figure. Some of them have notoriously poor tolerances. Some of them are just fine. They're not all like that. Some of them are maybe extra tight and hard.
That's what she said.
But they don't
Title of your sex tape.
They don't have like tolerance issues. Some are just disgustingly bad. Like the worst Iron Factory figure ever released, I've got to say, is Blitzwing. It's horrid. You know, it is the epitome of poor tolerance. You know, poor tolerance.
Is it really? I just got it in. Is it really that bad?
Are you serious?
Well, I bought it from a friend.
It's horrible. It's the worst figure they ever released.
The only other issue I've had with tolerances is the tarn from their DJD. The shoulders.
Yeah, you know, there are tolerance issues on some of them, but it's not everything. Some of them are just tight, right? And the tolerances are tight, but you're not guaranteed to have stress marks or breakage. Like I said, I've never broken one. But if I
haven't either.
You know, like okay, if I had to choose between Iron Factory, their materials, or Magic Square's materials, I'd prefer Iron Factory's materials. But the problem with me with Iron Factory is the aesthetic, where it's going. Like Cliff Jumper, I'm not interested in that Cliff Jumper, unfortunately. See the next figures coming out, and maybe Galvatron, but it just seems they're just really kind of going far off the center, really far now with the designs, and that's fine. But I guess because of New Age and Magic Square, they're scratching that childhood at your mind, you know. But maybe you want to try New Age. I think New Age gives you good materials and intuitive but complicated transformations and nice articulation. But if you like this aesthetic, you're stuck with Iron Factory. But it's not a bad company to be stuck with. You just got to use a spudger and just understand that you will perhaps see stress marks in some places on some figures, but I've never had anything break. I'd be interested to know what broke for you.
Yeah, I haven't had anything break. And plus, I mean, you know, they're different and they're stylized and everything from Magic Square and New Age. So, and they are going, I mean, you know, they got some weird stuff coming up, like, you know, they got Beast Wars stuff coming out and everything, and they got a sound wave that's a van coming out. They got some different, you know, Leo convoy, I think, is coming out.
Yep, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so they got, you know, and they got that big Ultra Magnus coming also. So they're, you know, they're all over the place with different stuff. But if you want a G1 aesthetic, definitely look up New Age. New Age has got some really great stuff, and Magic Square does too. But it is a different kind of you know, plastic. You know, they kind of, it's weird kind of plastic. But you know, both are really good.
The thing about New Age, you know, I wish New Age and Magic Square would just merge. They would go fusion, and then we'd get one. Magic Age or New Square. Like get the materials, and the paint and stuff. I mean, New Age has a lot of good qualities to it. Magic Square, what I like about them is the design of their joints and some of the thoughtful little things they do in the transformations. In some places that they didn't need to do because it's a Legends, but they do it anyway just to go the extra mile. And I like their sculpts more in general. That's why I wish the two of those companies would join.
I wish they wouldn't. I wanted them to stay exactly where they are because I have very few complaints about the New Age stuff. I just overall enjoy the aesthetic. I don't mind the ball joints, especially on a small figure. If we were talking like a regular deluxe size character, then yes, I would absolutely say let's get away from the ball joints. But in this case, like it's not that big of a deal to me. And like, yeah, I don't care for a lot of the way Magic Square does things. I don't care for the way their stuff kind of scales with itself. Like, I think their side swipe is wrong compared to their own Prime. I really hate the Ultra Magnus, like, him being so small. Like, they need to take a second crack at him. I know he's an old Legends toy at this point, but, like, yeah.
Iron Factor.
I don't know. I feel like just by going ahead and making your Optimus Prime, the size he is, like, and then, you have that there, you have your Ultra Magnus first, like, I don't know. It bothers me. So,
Are you talking about Magic Square or
Magic Square? Magic Square's Optimus Prime is so big, like, in truck mode compared to the Ultra Magnus, and then the Ultra Magnus just feels small and dumpy comparatively.
Bot mode?
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I really think that they should go ahead and come up with a trailer for their Optimus that plugs in and makes the armor. And then there you go. You got 2 trucks that are scaled. You got 2 trailers that are, roughly scaled. Absolutely. I think get away from what you're doing. It's a mistake. So.
And I think you definitely, if you go New Age, you definitely need to get the Seekers and Megatron because they're fucking excellent. They're just so much fun. Fucking the Seekers have diecast on them. I mean, come on now.
The only New Age toy so far that I felt a little nervous with is the original release of Jazz, like that. The way the knee joint like pops up. Like,
yeah, it's really.
The only thing
Yeah,
that felt
it's
scary.
really.
And it's like any issue I've had with New Age, I've been able to solve by putting a little bit of lubricant on it. Like the silicone shock oil on there, and then now it works just fine.
Well, those New Age Seekers, the lower leg transformations, like it's easier to transform them by just popping the piece off and turning it over and around than it is to keep it in.
So if you have
It
that
is a
problem,
top
Robert,
tolerance.
then just unscrew the screw just like a quarter turn, and it'll be fine.
And unscrew a screw.
Why can you not unscrew?
I think it's
I got
genius.
2
I think it's genius how that folds in and it fills in the gaps. I mean, come on,
I have 2 kids also, and somehow I've managed to untighten the joint on both of mine.
You can't unscrew a screw. You have 2 kids.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, you screw the kids
I see
real
where you're
tight.
going with that. That didn't register with me at first, but
It's annoying. You just want to play with my toys. I was like, oh, there's Iron Factory Wheeljack. He's still in the box. Let me take it out of the box. Took it out of the box, and I was like, I put him on the shelf, and then I was putting the freaking clamshell back in the box, and his fucking spare head flew off. And now it's somewhere in this maelstrom of boxes of shit. I'm not playing with my toys anymore. Fuck it. Damn it.
So
we got another question. Let's
If
go.
you are the type of person that does like to mess around with your Legends figures, I do think that generally speaking, the New Age stuff is just fantastic for the G1 look, and yeah, it works. Like none of it seems like it's gonna break on me. So, with the exception of the Jazz legs, which again, just find a way to lubricate it a little, and you'll be fine.
Maybe you need a spooger.
Maybe
I like my DX9 Legends figures.
Yeah.
Greg started the fire with he's an OG third-party Legends collector. He's one of the first guys to ever pick up the DX9 Legends, and they're the first company to really delve into it.
Well, Hasbro was the first one to.
Of course you'd say that.
Cyberverse.
I'm just saying, it's the truth, though, Oscar. You
I used to
hate the
collect
truth?
those. I loved them. I loved them. No, the little Bayformers, they were great. But honestly, I used to collect all those. The Prime, I love.
You know, I actually wanted to go downstairs and find my my Legends Hound just to see kind of how he looks next to the New Age stuff. Like, I know he's not as articulated and everything, but I feel like he might work. I don't know.
I remember
in Robert's defense, and I don't often do this, Robert did preface that statement with third-party legends, so Hasbro legends don't really count.
He always defends me, Matt.
I do defend him,
but
he can't defend himself. I speak for the ones who can't speak for themselves.
The you know, it's funny. I remember the Legend scale Arachnid, Prime Arachnid, was leagues better than the deluxe scale one.
Oh god, it was an easy challenge.
Leagues.
Yeah, that was trash.
Remember what a piece of shit that figure was?
I still love it though. It's such a piece of shit. I love it. It's so funny how things change. I still love all those figures. You know,
I still got my Transformers Prime knockout, and then the Dark Energon knockout. That'd be TSM.
The purple.
I got those too. Yeah, those clear ones. Yeah, the Starscream and Wheeljack and Bumblebee.
I got the Megatron. I got the Dark Energon Megatron.
Oh yeah, Megatron and Optimus Prime too.
The not Galvatron color scheme.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're nice. They're pretty.
Nice.
All right, we got another question.
Yes, we do. The next one is
no.
Next one says, okay, guys, here's one I've been meaning to ask a lot of people. What was your childhood Transformers squad? Everyone had that team of toys. You had one minute you played with all the time, unless you were very fortunate. It was usually a mismatch from both what was current when they were a child growing up, as well as past Transformers that might have been found on clearance, etc. Sure, you have more over time, but the first 10 or so you think of that were always your go-to squad. A ragtag team of good and bad guys that still tend to hold the biggest nostalgia for us today. Bring the ones we're most excited about. In my case, for example, offhand, the first 10 or so that popped into my mind was Grapple, the Seacon Nautilator, Technobot Stripe and Nosecone, Outback, Sea Spray, Spinster, Needle Nose, Swerve, Ram Horn, and Eject. Those were the ones to beat hell from constantly playing with as a kid. Missing rubber tires, missiles, etc. Curious how everyone else's childhood experiences compared and who their squad was.
For a minute there, Oscar, I thought you had finished asking the question and your answer was cocked and loaded. And you were just getting it. You were ready to give your answer, and you had written it down.
That was a long question.
That was Kinsey.
It was Kinsey, yes, sir.
Wow, squad. I know everybody had the fucking Twin Twist and Top Spin because they were like $5, I think.
They're fun too.
Yeah, you can roll them back and they flip over. So I had those two. I know that.
I hated those. I hated jump starters with a fucking passion, man.
Fuck those jump starters. Ironhide.
I had the squad I had when I was a kid was Tantrum. I had, it was Tantrum. I had a Sludge, but it wasn't like the official Sludge. It was that one that came with like wings and shit, and he had like horns on his head. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I had that one.
Sledge.
And then Constructicon Slidge. A Constructicon Scrapper. The orange, very innovative. And then, of course, was Smokescreen, Generation 1 Smokescreen. So he's the one that had like no tires on his rims.
No tire. I guarantee you, did anybody have a complete combiner? Because when everybody talks about stuff, they're always saying, you know, I had one of this, I had one of that. You never hear anybody saying they had the complete combiner.
I had that G1 Debbie, the orange one, but then fucking lost that like fucking months later because, you know, I was like 8.
I had Veronicon. That was the only one I complete.
No, I had Bruticus, I had Superion, I had Computron, and I think I'm pretty sure I had Menasor. I used to play with those the most. I loved Bruticus. I loved the Combaticons.
I love the Studicons. I had Motormaster and I had a Wild Rider.
But my favorites were like the Dinobots and the Insecticons. I don't think I had many Autobots. I had Optimus Prime, but some kid broke it at a Cub Scout meeting. Like someone stole my Grimlock. No, I don't know about you guys, but I never really collected these toys when I was a kid. I'd get them, break them, lose them, forget them, and get new ones.
Sandbox. You know? Oh yeah, put them in the sandbox.
Did you had Starscream, right, Matt?
I never had a Starscream as a kid. No.
Wow.
I didn't. I don't know. I never. I had Soundwave. I remember I had Soundwave, and it was one tape. I had Buzzsaw that came with them. I had like 2 Constructicons. I had 2 Stunticons. I never had a complete combiner as a kid. I always got just bits, different ones from each of them. I had one Dinobot. It was Sludge, the Triceratops one. Is that Sludge?
That's Slag.
Slag. I'm sorry. I had Slag. He was my favorite Dinobot out of them. I Blaster. I had Blaster. And then 86, I remember December of 86, I got a lot of Transformers. I remember I got Skylink, Galvatron, Cyclonus, and some other ones. And I had Blaster also. I loved Blaster. He was always cool, but he was he was tall as a combiner.
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah, they had no sense of scale back then.
I had Skyfire. Blaster,
I never got Jetfire. I never got
Wasn't Blaster like taller than Metroplex in the G1 line?
Huge.
I don't know if he was taller than Metroplex. He was big, but he was as tall as the combiners. I remember that.
He was gigantic. It was silly. I had Metroplex. I remember that, but I never remember having them all at the same time, and I don't know what the hell I did with them.
Well, in Blaster's defense, because no one ever defends Blaster, he was from a completely different line than Metroplex. Metroplex was a Diaclone. Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird. I never got Starscream.
Diaclone. Supposed to be a Diaclone.
I didn't have any of the Seekers, actually. I had a Conehead. I had Thrust. I remember Thrust.
Man, bro, any one of those Seekers were Coneheads.
Yeah, it's true.
Any one of them were fucking Coneheads, dude.
That's true.
I mean, I'll be real. Like, I'm a big Seeker fan, but my first official Seeker figure, like, as a kid, was the Action Master Starscream. Wow. And I was like, he transforms into a jet? Why the fuck don't I have that version? This guy just moves his arms and shit. But
he has a little hydroplane or something.
Yeah, but it's not the same as a jet.
No, you know. Well, I didn't collect that. I quit. I wasn't collecting Action Masters or anything.
Oh, you quit that too, huh?
Yeah, I was actually, I quit around 88 or something like that. So I didn't really get into I always wanted Pretenders for some reason. I love Pretenders.
I had all the Pretenders.
I mean, for some reason, I'm waiting for somebody third party to make some Pretenders. I know a while back we talked, there was supposed to be something I saw, but.
Wasn't that one company doing a GoFundMe or Kickstarter for it? And
is that we talked about it one time on one episode?
It was
really
Rick Alvarez, right?
I don't remember. It may have been
Master of the
Let's
Universe.
play with us too.
Play with us too, yeah.
They look awesome, but I always wanted. I never got any of the Pretenders, but I always liked them. I always saw them in the stores, and I thought they were pretty cool. But I never picked them up. I always pick them up now.
I had 2 of those Pretenders. I had the. I forget his fucking name. It's like the red guy that transforms into a race car. He's not the clones.
Oh, Fast Track? Or not, was it? No, not the.
No, it wasn't the clones, bro. It was just some guy transformed into a red race car.
I know who you're talking about. I have him. I know who you're talking about.
I had him and I had the Jazz when I was a kid.
Oh, nice. Nice.
You know, now they're probably in some dumpster.
Wait, you jumping the red guy with the blue helmet?
Whiplash or something?
Yeah, he had the whip. That's Cloudburst. He turned into a little jet thing.
Okay, Cloudburst.
I mean, what did they really turn into? They folded in half. You put their legs behind their head.
Pretty much. They section up like Bumblebee and fucking Jazz. And then I bought the Pretender Grimlock, the inner robot though, not the shell. Jesus, man. But when we were still doing Good Morning Cybertron, that's when I got my hands on him.
Wow. Well, they sold a 3-pack of just the robots. I think Starscream and over in Japan they had a 3-pack of those, just the robots, not the shells or anything. All right.
Yeah. So ready for the next one?
Sure.
I didn't get to answer
I mean,
mine.
does anybody want to
Go ahead, Justin. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
You got quiet.
Yeah, no problem. My squad, I had Optimus Prime. I had Mirage, who I couldn't fucking stand. I hated that figure.
Oh, I had Mirage too. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I had that, and I had. It wasn't until later that I ended up getting Jazz, and it was the G2 version of Jazz, actually. Yeah. And let's see. I'm trying to think who else kind of made the main squad. Now I had Metroplex. I had the who else did I kind of have all the time out? I can't think of them all. For the Decepticons, I didn't have any Seekers. I had Ramjet and Dirge were my two Seekers. So like, it's probably the reason I like Dirge more than most of the other Coneheads, even though he's like the one that everybody seems to like the least. I'm like, oh, I love Dirge. You know, why does nobody like Dirge? What else? I had also on my main bad guys, I had Motormaster, and then I had Nose Cone and Lightspeed. Or is it Light? No. Which one's the car? What's his name? I can't think of his name.
Lightspeed.
Is that Lightspeed? Okay.
Yeah.
Which one's the motorcycle? What's his name then? I can't remember.
Straight,
all I know is
Strafe
is the jet. Afterburner.
Okay. Anyway, so I had Lightspeed and I had Nose Cone, and those were the only three pieces of a combiner I had. So oftentimes, my Motormaster would walk around with Strafe and Nose Cone and Lightspeed pants.
But that's
on.
that's what do you call
that?
it?
That's a knockoff. That's those knockoff things. The Minnesota and Technobots came.
No, they were part of Scramble City, dude.
Yeah, mine were official.
I mean,
I still have them.
Legit. That's legit Scramble City, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did do like a lot of KO sets. Had like Motormaster.
Yeah.
They had
Stunticons and Technobots.
They
had Breakdown. Then they had like 2 Technobots or some shit like that with them.
Yeah. So that was pretty much my main like. That was like the main things I remember the most playing with. Like I know I had other ones, but like they don't really jump to my mind. Like I had another thing I had is like I had like I know there's more than me that just did this, but I had some of those like Super GoBots that stood in the Baron Von Joy, which is the Volkswagen Beetle, and like he would always be Bumblebee in Volkswagen mode and not bot mode, you know.
I had tons of GoBots.
Yeah, I had tons of them.
Did anybody have a Fort Max?
Nope.
As a kid?
No, hell no.
No, I didn't either.
Born and raised in the projects. You think my parents had that type of shit?
He was like $100, I think, when he came out. The first around.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I never got a Fort Max.
I have a Unicron, but you can't see them. My mom said I can't show them to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I can't bring them outside. And you can't.
I remember that shit too, man.
I remember that photo I took of the knockoff, the fake one the guy had made, the duplicate.
I had.
Remember that shit, Greg? Sorry.
No problem. So anyway, I was gonna say, I had talked to some people like that I work with, and I just kind of like I have a bunch of nerdy stuff around my office, like my Toy World Devastator is sitting in my office, you know, and someone on my camera saw the Toy World Devastator, and they're like, I had that one. They're like, and I'm like, oh, Devastator, and I'm like, and they're like, yeah, and they're like, that exact one. I'm like, I don't think you had that exact one. Like, he's like, no, I had it when I was a kid. I'm like, yeah, that's like new, you know, like unless you were a kid like 2 years ago, and suddenly became a like 30-some, almost 40-year-old man, then I probably doubt you've had this one.
Was his name Jesus, Justin?
It should have been. Maybe it was. So.
My favorite is when you tell people that you collect them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, man, I got like 1 or 2 of them when I'm still a kid. They're probably worth some good money, right?" Yeah. And it's like, are they like in the box sealed still, like pristine condition? No, man, they're just they're in my garage. Probably get like $100 for it. I'm like, no, you're lucky if you get 5.
They're bits and pieces. Yeah, okay, sure. One half's over there, other half's over there.
I got a Starscream with no hands.
And no.
I get at least 50 for it, right? I mean, come on, man. This is my Dodge pickup truck.
That's one of the things as a kid that was always so frustrating, especially with Like with Optimus Prime, it was fine because you could put his fists inside the cab of the truck.
Yeah.
But like the Seekers, I'm like if I wanted to play with them, I had to like dig the hands out of the box, like try to find them on the box of all of my stuff.
And then the flight stand. Everybody lost the little flights, or the little. I'm sorry, not the flight stand, but the wheel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that I think you could keep in the cockpit, right? I think that's what I used to do with mine.
Yeah.
But like it was just like the fists. Like I remember playing with my Dirge and Ramjet, and they would just be fistless because I couldn't be bothered trying to find their fists in the box. So,
they got stubs.
They were
Get him, Dirge. I'm on my way. I got these stubs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill you, Optimus Prime. You fuck badass.
Also, probably one of my favorite Transformers as a kid was what's the one that comes with Metroplex? I can't think of his name.
Scamper.
Scamper, yes.
Scamper.
I
Scrapper,
freaking
Scamper,
love
yeah.
Scamper because I love the fact that he could go in Metroplex's chest. Like that was like.
Didn't he shoot out? Wasn't there some type of?
I think there was a little black thing you could hit on Metroplex, and it kind of gently nudged him out. He definitely wouldn't call it shooting out of Metroplex's chest. But,
dude, I had mini boss. I loved Warpath and Power Glide. I remember those two. I used to take Warpath with me everywhere.
What's another one I had? I had the yellow cliff jumper from the storybook thing. I don't know how many people had that. He was always fun.
He must be worth a lot of money, eh?
He's got to be worth at least $1,000.
Everything says someone you collect Transformers, they see dollar signs like, oh my god, they must be worth a lot of money. It's like, no, bitch, they ain't.
Oh, they always have. People are like, how much do you think these are worth? And it's always like a couple Stunticons missing an arm, a couple headmaster bodies.
They're worth throwing away.
The one thing that I always found interesting, though, is like, from collecting them as a kid, is like finding out some of the weird variations. Like, I had no clue that there was Motormaster, the Stunticon Menasor face with paint and without eye paint. I'm like, that seems like a weird detail to like vary,
Mm. They started doing that a lot with the Beast Wars. A lot of different color eyes, and there was always
Tigatron.
Yeah, Dinobot.
Well, it's like there's the Cheetor with the red eyes, right?
Yeah, and green eyes, and I mean everyone. There was different and the packaging, like a rock bubble or a smooth bubble, and then there was tons of variants for Beast Wars. Different color, like the Transmetals were different color paint. Like I think there was a pink Megatron. There was some other stuff. There's like different variations of Beast Wars.
There was also a while ago to get a Fox Kids repaint of the Beast Wars characters.
Yes. Wow. I think I got that of Cheetor. I think I got that one. The Fox Kids repaint.
Cheetor.
Wait, with the Fox, those were the ones that came with the transmutate parts, weren't they? Or was that the Telemoka?
No, that was a Telemoka, I believe. I don't know. I'm not. Someone called Stasis. Ask them.
I think the transmutate, whatever.
Transmutate.
Was the 10th anniversary. Didn't they just recently do the 10th anniversary ones? With those, they come with the little extra parts of him, like a Build-A-Figure.
There's a new one coming out with no ankle articulation.
And it's twice as tall as Masterpiece Megatron.
It's fucking huge.
And it's funny, actually. Elijah, I don't know if anybody does E. I know Oscar does, I think. He just sent me a message. He's like, what the fuck is this? And it was a picture of that third party transmutate.
There's a hole in the bucket.
Dear Elijah. Oh, I thought it was Dear Eliza.
Maybe it is.
Go on to the next question.
There's another one.
Hold on. Is there another question?
There is. There are several.
We'll
so how are we going to get to them all?
We'll do one more.
Let's do one.
How are we going to get to them all?
We're going to do one more. That's one.
How? Where do we find the time?
The next one.
Are we all going to answer it?
Yeah. Gotta try.
But hold on.
Awkward.
What's the question?
Read the question.
You said hold on.
No, you're gonna start listening to me now?
Oh, fucking cunt. All right.
He is a cunt.
Dear Shattered Cast Crew, they say retail is dying. It's certainly on decline with notable chain stores closing every year and nothing really coming in to replace them. If you could resurrect retail chain, fast food franchise, or something else in that arena, what would you choose? Passionately yours. Oh, TJ. Yeah, fucking TJ. Jesus, there go my nipples again.
Resurrect a retail chain.
Toys R Us.
Yeah, Toys R Us. Yeah.
I'd like to see KB toy stores come back.
Ooh, yeah, you could shop with.
Now, would you?
Yeah, you bolt out of the fucking mall.
Would you want it in the mall, or would you want it like a separate, like like a Toys R Us?
It'd have to be in the mall, man.
KB's got to be in the mall.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's awkward.
Man, those aisles were so fucking small, and they just
the Bionic
packed.
6 in your shoes.
They packed the shit out of toys everywhere, man. KB's was fun.
The thing I always loved most about KB was going in and finding the video games that were like 3 times more expensive there than anywhere else. Like,
yeah, they were.
Who's here and like who's buying an NES game here for, $90 when you can get it 30, on the other side of the mall at the time Electronics Boutique.
Electronics Boutique.
Yep, I love that store.
What was that? I miss how was that? The technology store. They always have a massage chair in it. What the hell is it called?
Sharper Vision. Sharper
Image. Yes. I missed.
Or
that.
Brookstone.
Yeah, there was Brookstone and Sharper Image. They both kind of did the same thing. We still had one of them in the mall. I think Sharper Image. I think we still have that around here.
I miss Toys R Us. I miss it. Like Christmas shopping. That was like I love going Christmas shopping in Toys R Us. It like buying the presents for my kids there. It's like brings back the nostalgia feels, And now that it's not there anymore. It's like fucking Amazon or just going to the Target and all this different stuff. It's not the same. I don't want to go to Target for toys. I want to go to Toys R Us.
So half the time
Yeah,
you don't
Toys
even
R
go
Us.
to any store for toys. You just order them off Amazon. Don't deal with any of that stuff.
I really miss, man, back when my dad worked in a little city in Jersey called North Bergen. It was Bergen Line Avenue was this main strip. You had like different types of clothing stores that would sell knockoff designer stuff. So instead of like FUBU, which was big at the time, it'd be like Boo-Foo.
I had FUBU.
Or cross colors, it'd be like, colored cross and stuff like that.
Instead of
Fun Bun somewhere.
Instead of polo, it was pollo.
Yeah, some shit like that. Or,
It's polio.
The fake lacrosse shirts, right, with the alligator, but he's going the other way.
It was a crocodile.
Yeah. And like you'd pass like that store like that, then you have like a electronics store, which odds are everything they sold in there was fucking stolen. And then you go there and it's and it would be like a toy store, and that toy store had all this shitty crap from China, but then they would have the occasional Transformer up there or a G.I. Joe figure or what was big at the time. Those X-Men Toy Biz figures, like the Wolverine whose mask doubled as a ring,
Oh, yeah.
That type of stuff, man. Like I would love to bring back little experiences like that, man. Like that stuff.
Video. I don't remember that.
I remember Suncoast Major Motion Picture Movie Store. Yes, I do. That's where I bought my first anime by the name of Robna 1/2.
Ooh, nice.
Did you buy it or did you steal it? Because it was dark as shit, and they had a lot of corners and no cameras.
Bring back Blockbuster.
Dude, no. I'll never forget.
Yeah.
I'll never forget my dad had a point where he was like, you know what? I want a Laserdisc player because that's what's going to be big in the future. So I was like, yeah, let's go check it out. We went in Jersey near Hoboken, there was a mall called Newport Mall. They had a Suncoast store in there, and they had a Laserdisc. No, bro, it was just called Newport Mall because it was by the 40. God damn it, Matthew. But you go in there, and they had like the Laserdisc player, which was like $800. And then I believe they had like the first Batman film, the Michael Keaton, Tim Burton one, and they wanted like fucking $100 for that shit. Wow. It was like some absurd price. And then like when I was buying anime there, once I got my license, freaking a cassette with 3 episodes. And back then, kiddies, anime wasn't called anime; it was called Japanimation. So they actually had a sign that said Japanimation. And there, one VHS cassette with 3 episodes of like Ramna Half was like $30 fucking dollars, man. That was
Hey, Oscar, did y'all have movie galleries down there in Florida?
Movie galleries.
I remember that.
No, I never heard of movie galleries. I moved here like 15 years ago.
Okay. Well, it was kind of like competition with Blockbuster and everything. We had movie galleries. I mean, we had Blockbusters too, but and Hollywood Video.
Oh, Blockbuster was cool. I remember Hollywood Video. They have that down here. Yeah.
You know
They
what's
had it.
Did you have
interesting to think about?
Family Video?
Yeah.
So what?
One thing interesting to think about is the fact that we could all be not watching Netflix and we could be watching Blockbuster. They went to them
Right.
first, and then they're like, no,
Right.
this is stupid.
Netflix put them out of business.
Yeah.
They really did. But you know what?
I don't think it was
My credit
Netflix. It was the you get the rental video outside like Walgreens and stuff and Walmart.
Redbox.
Redbox. I think
Yeah,
Redbox hurt.
that didn't help, but I mean, Netflix for the whole streaming platform approached Blockbuster, and Blockbuster said, no, that'll never work.
Oh, really? They did?
And then they tried it, and then it failed. It was one of those too little, too late, and then it got to the point where
did try it, right?
Yeah, and then they tried, and then it got to the point where you could go to a Blockbuster store, and then employees are like, "You really want to rent this?" You're like, "Yeah, we're gonna close down in like a week. You come back and buy it for like $5, and we're literally gonna liquidate everything in here, from like the registers to the shelves, the cardboard cutouts."
I remember that.
Will you
shit. Yeah,
hire
they were
me?
selling everything. Man,
And it's
good times, man.
I'll never forget, man. Some kid walked in there and
I'm sorry I charged you $80 for that cassette last week. Can I have a job, please?
And it's like, I remember seeing some kid walk into this Blockbuster that says store closing soon. And like this poor kid, man, he just sat there, he's like, yeah, I know this is like a stupid question, but are y'all hiring? And like the manager's like, yeah, man, just fill out this app. And just slid it to his kids. He's like, all right, cool, yeah.
Do y'all remember the when when CDs first came out? They were in those long ass boxes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember walking into Hot Dog Records. That we had Hot Dog Records. That was like, and they were just. And I love tapes. I was buying tapes and everything. I didn't know really much about CDs, but I remember in the middle of the whole store that just had long lines of just those long ass CD boxes.
Do you know why they put them
so
in
people
those?
wouldn't steal them?
No. Well,
that was one of the reasons.
They doubled as that, yeah. But and the same reason they put the tapes in those big ass things too, it's so that they didn't have to buy new fixtures when from the records.
Okay, gotcha.
Because you could fit.
You had the long plastic for the tapes. Yeah, it was. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that shit too. Yeah.
That was a thing that the store owners were concerned about, was having to buy new shelving.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. Y'all remember buying singles, like in tape singles?
Yep, I used to
cut singles.
I used to buy the tape. I would buy the whole tape, and then I would still buy the singles too for some stupid reason.
Because you'd have to listen to the whole tape to get to your song, and back in the day you had one of those newfangled tape players that could advance to the next song.
And they always on the B side they always have maybe a different song that wasn't on the tape or something like that.
I never did that with tapes, but with CDs I definitely got some of the singles just because you'd get the different remixes and something that maybe wasn't on the actual album.
Nine Inch Nails ruled that shit in the
90s.
My favorite perk of the singles.
All right, one at a time.
Let Oscar get it out.
Shut the fuck up. My favorite perk of a single back in the day was basically like if you bought a hip hop album, if you bought a hip hop single,
Tag team.
One side would have the song and the other side would have the instrumentals.
Oh yeah.
So when me and my friends would get freaking lifted, and when we're nice and toasted, we're all like, "Oh man, we could be rappers. Play that shit, bruh." And spit probably the worst fucking bars ever you heard. But yeah, that was my kick about singles.
Man, good shit, man.
I used to buy the records. I used to buy single. I remember I used to buy the records, single records.
Remember Heavy D and the Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Just
overweight lover in the house.
What are we gonna do?
He passed away.
Last time I heard about Heavy D before he died was one of his nephews was arrested for selling crack.
No.
To him.
He was being interviewed by Source magazine. For you kids that didn't know, that was like the definitive magazine. Back when Cash Money would plaster their ads all up in there, you like read an article, one page, the next page is a big giant like shitty Photoshop of like Juvenile with like diamond fucking words, you know. But yeah, I was like, that's the last time I heard about Heavy D. Like, it was like, where are they now? And it was like, yeah, you know, I got a niece who's trying to get into music, and my nephew just got himself arrested for selling crack, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like,
I remember hair metal magazines, Metal Edge and Rip. I used to buy tons of those stuff.
Rip.
It was awesome.
Metal Injection.
I remember when MTV actually played videos, you know, music videos.
Right.
That was a good time.
You know, when that started dying, Matthew, was when TRL became the show to watch. Because they would go down their top 10 for that day, and every other song they play in its entirety, while the one after that, they would play a snippet, like, oh, number 9 is Boys to Men, all right, and they played like 30 seconds of the song. Okay, that was Boys to Men. Coming up next, Mariah Carey with Oh Dirty Bastard.
That was around, what, early 2000?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when they
2000
stopped.
is when TRL debuted, and it kind of helped kill, you know, music television.
Yeah, it's sad.
Was that? I think TRL wasn't that a couple years before 2000?
Yeah, it started with Carson Daly, but it started really gathering steam like after it came.
I think it started with other people too. I think they had. It wasn't maybe called TRL. There was other shows that had that, like a countdown thing. I think. I might be wrong, but
do you guys remember the channel The Box?
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Sounds like porn.
Kind of
it does.
You would go in, you would go into the channel, and you would select, you know, what you wanted to, like they had a list of songs, and you put in like the 3 or 4 digit code or something like that, and then yeah, we'd just play whatever was actually selected.
I don't remember that. Y'all remember watching scrambled porn?
No.
Yeah, y'all did. Don't. Yeah,
no. I remember
watching it right now.
I remember how.
Fixing to watch some right.
Matt, I do remember that, and I want to say that one day I was sick as a kid, and like, so you went to the channel because, you know, parents aren't home, everybody else is at school, and I was it came in perfectly clear, but black and white for like 2 hours. I'm like, this is the best day of my life.
Very nice, man. I used to watch Cinemax.
Justin saw Debbie Does Dallas from the point of view of cops.
Cinemax had the Skinaflix or whatever.
Oh, Skinamax.
Skinamax, yeah. I was on
Red Shoe Diaries. My favorite stumbling upon was the Emmanuel series.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember those. The first boobs I ever saw on TV was Fast Times at Ridgemont High when she came out of the pool.
Oh. Bapping the Phoebe Kate.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
Now it doesn't even matter. I was watching IFC earlier today, and that
Halloween?
The Rob Zombie remakes are on, and it was just like, I was like, is this 2 in the morning? I'm like, this is 1:30 in the afternoon.
You know what? I put it on.
You stupid hole.
I put it on I think they played Halloween 2, then they played Halloween. I put it on. I was like, fuck, man, they don't ever show anything on this one. Then I looked again. It's like, I see. It's like, oh yeah, they show all the shit. Then okay, I watched it. I watched it.
Yeah.
Good shit, man.
Yeah, it was weird. They played Halloween 2, and then they played Halloween after it. But then my signal kept cutting out. It got stormy, and the signal kept coming out. So then I went to see what was on demand on IFC, and neither movie was on demand, but they did have Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh.
So then I watched Mortal Kombat Annihilation with its 1% on Rotten Tomatoes.
You know what I miss? I miss arcades. I miss going to the bowling alley and playing Mortal Kombat 2 and Mortal Kombat 3 and Street Fighter.
For us in Jersey, it was you go to certain pizzerias. They would have them there. And then
Pizza Hut had this tabletop ones. Remember you had to sit down and play Miss Pac-Man or something? You ever do that at Pizza Hut?
Well, I never experienced that at Pizza Hut, but out by me in Jersey was pizzerias. And like when Mortal Kombat 2 came out, man, I've never seen so many lines around pizzerias.
I know. Did you put your quarter up on the screen like I got?
Oh yeah,
next?
called Dex, of course.
Dude, I put so many quarters in that fucking Mortal Kombat 2 at the bowling alley. My God, not bowling alley, skating rink. I miss skating rinks, man.
And you try to do all the special moves, the secrets, pull down on both controller sticks to make the guy in the pit and the spikes come down.
Yeah. Oh my
all that
God.
shit.
My Pizza Hut actually had Super Mario Brothers on one of those coffee, like those.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Type things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We had Miss Pac-Man or Space Invader, not Space Invaders, but Centipede.
we had an arcade at the mall, and we had video games. We had video games at the bowling alley and the skating rink.
Golden Axe.
But for some reason, that was for the beach. That was at the beach. But for some reason, there was a Food Lion, which was the grocery store. And then there was I Love New York Pizza, which was a guy from New Jersey, opened up a pizza place. And the Food Lion had Street Fighter 2 right when it came out. And then the pizza place had Mortal Kombat right when it came out. And that's where everybody went to go play those. They didn't go to the arcade. For some reason, the arcade didn't have them. But those two places had those games.
God, I remember playing Turtles and the X-Men game. You got 4 people could play.
I stopped going to arcades. I think Nintendo killed arcades. You know,
we have a place in North Little Rock that has an arcade, and I've gone a couple times. I've posted pictures on my Facebook, and it's fun. I mean, I go back, we go once in a while, and it's really fun. And they have a whole row of TVs that people can play Nintendo and stuff. Sorry.
Yeah. I honestly don't think Nintendo's what killed arcades. I think it was just the evolution of the home video game console market.
I agree.
Their capabilities went from, the most, state of the art was double dribble, right? When you would boot that game up.
I love double dribble.
To now it's like
NBA Jams.
What was that latest Hideo Kojima game with freaking the guy from The Walking Dead on it? That's like visually stunning, but you can't, it wasn't like Nintendo may have started a home console market, but helped popularize it. I take that back because we all know it was the Odyssey, Magnavox Odyssey, that was the first home console. But I think with the evolution of technology over time is what basically voided out the arcades.
Yeah, it's once the home experience caught up to the arcade experience, there was no need for it anymore. I mean, like, I remember even Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo's, like, those Turtle games were not the same as the ones in the arcade. Like, they were closer, but, like, they didn't do all the things, So,
and now you could download those games on your fucking phone.
Exactly.
Remember Double Dragon?
Yeah, Double Dragon was always one of those ones. I think 2 is the best Double Dragon, and
Ninja Gaiden.
1 is kind of messed up, and 3 is terrible.
Contra was my game on Nintendo. I love Contra. That was
now. Did you ever,
game.
Matt? Did you play the arcade Ninja Gaiden?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that was completely different.
Yeah, it was, and it was awesome though. And we're talking about the one where you could like swing from lampposts and shit like that. Yep.
And like you didn't want to continue because you wanted to see what happened when that saw blade got all the way down.
Yep.
And remember, they had a part where you throwing stars at they were jumping ninjas and everything. You had throwing stars at them. I remember that.
I don't think I ever got past that first level where you beat up phone booths and shit and swing from poles.
Yeah, I know.
So much fun.
Yeah.
There's an arcade right a mile and a half away from me, but it's a bar. It's free play as long as you're drinking, but
it's a barcade.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, well, that's what it's called, 16-bit barcade. But I don't drink anymore. So
you have to vomit into the quarter slot to get it to work.
you have to blow. You have to blow. It's like a breathalyzer to get it to start.
That's
your car.
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
The one downtown had like Star Wars figures in the old school vending machines with the metal like screw thing. And like you put in what you want, you turn it, and like the chips come off the little screw thing, and they had like Star Wars figures and G.I. Joes in there.
You remember Afterburner?
Oh, remember Spy Hunter? Spy Hunter was one of my favorites. I love Spider Hunter.
What was that laser disc one? Dragon something?
Oh, Dragon's Lair.
Dragging your nuts over your
Dragon's
face.
Lair.
They had Space Ace also. It was Don Bluth who produced those.
Impossible. Those games are impossible.
I may have
Burger
told the
Time.
story as a
Remember
kid.
Burger Time?
I do. I may have told the story when I was younger, but so I had a Commodore 64 computer, and like I loved Spy Hunter in the arcade. Like absolutely adored that
I did
game.
too.
And
I did too.
I knew it came out for the Commodore, and like I want it. I kept bothering my parents, and my parents were like,
"Get me the floppy.
If you can learn to tie your shoe, we'll get it for you." Because they were getting tired of me asking for my shoe tied. I figured it out that friggin' day. I was like, I got it. Now let's go get this game.
And Justin's like, fuck this. I'm 30. I've got my own money.
Yeah.
Let's go fly it myself.
You know?
I used to play a lot of D&D video games on my friend's Commodore.
Yeah, it's a good
D&D
great computer.
You
The
say
mini one
Panero
wasn't so good,
disease?
but we'll see.
Dungeons and Dragons. They had a lot of good role. It was like those are the first real good role-playing games. It was on the Commodore 64, and you know, it was.
Supposedly there's going to be a new Commodore 64 coming out, so we'll see how that goes.
Commodore 2064.
No, I still think it's going to be based on the original C64, but the C64 Mini was kind of like a not very good foray into those mini consoles, so we'll see.
All right, Azalea's blowing bubbles into my office. We've got to wrap this up.
All right, well, we could definitely do
That
that.
sounded
So
dirty, Justin, and not good for you.
I don't care. I just don't care anymore. Taking this shit off the rails. Oscar?
yeah, no,
You guys
I'm
discuss your cell phone plan today?
no, I don't. I probably know more about cell phone plans than you do.
Oh, I'm sure.
But
Oscar, your vehicle's warranty is about to expire. We need to talk about your consolidating
What
your
about
credit
your
cards.
long-distance provider?
Or Jesus.
as always, you can check us out on Facebook on facebook.com/Shatteredcast Uncut. Look us up on Instagram and of course on Twitter. And
Grindr, Tumblr.
Grindr. Sure, why not? You know,
We're on campsites.
you know, you can check out Deluxe's brand new mukbang channel. You know,
All right.
BehindTheGasStation.com.
Or Taco Bell. Taco Bell, I prefer.
And of course, everyone knows Greg from Mercy starting his new TV series called Dirt Fights. So
30 minutes at the truck stop.
Don't jump in that bubble wrap. There might be toys in there. Stop. Oh no. Oh, no.
And always, on a serious side note, you know, for the sake of Primus, please collect responsibly. I want to thank all our listeners for the questions we had fun answering them, especially the last one, as you could tell, TJ, you horrible man, you. And I want you guys to have a wonderful day. Be good to yourselves and each other. For the sake of Primus, please collect responsibly. I'm Oscar Alonso on behalf of Shattercast Uncut 2020. Thank you. And
Remember when we used to go shut the fuck up, Chip, at the end? Whatever happened to that?
2020.
And go fuck yourself.